suite launch is going on behind me. You're about to take the stage here for Juniper Networks, defending your mobile life. So we're going to go live to the live feed. We're going to have interviews right after. CEO Kevin Johnson, among other top executives.
The OEM deal just went through. Keep it quiet.
Jim, get this info to senior counsel.
Don't release the Q3 numbers. It'll kill us.
Security code 9285.
Robert Lewis is getting axed. Robert Lewis is getting axed.
Good morning. I'm Lauren Flaherty. I'm the CMO of Juniper Networks, and I'd really like to welcome everybody for coming this morning to the beautiful Bentley Reserve building. This building is really sort of apropos of today's topic. It's a fantastic backdrop because, as many of you probably know, this used to be the Federal Reserve of San Francisco, equipped with vault and the works. So we are in a sort of icon for security, which is really consistent with what we want to talk about today. A year ago, literally to the week, Juniper mapped out both a vision and a set of principles for the new network, and that is the mantra that we've been marching to, as many of you know, for the past year. And the principles around the new network are centered on automation, are centered on simplicity, and most importantly, vis-a-vis today's topic, security. What's really fascinating, what's going on in the world, which we all live in, is that in 2012, mobile phones actually eclipse PCs. And 98% of the mobile phones that ship today ship without any form of security. So throughout the course of the day, you're going to be hearing about context for what's going on in the industry, the role that we play. Kevin will start off, Kevin Johnson, our CEO, giving you an overall perspective about how today's launch fits in the context of the overall Juniper strategy, and particularly what we're doing to enable both business professionals and consumers do their work in a secure way. Mark Bauhaus, who heads up our security business, is going to talk to you very specifically about what our strategy is and why we are so focused on mobile security, given the kind of pain points we see from our customers every day. And then Sanjay Berry, who's the father of this product with many members of the team, is going to take you through what I think is going to be a really exciting set of demonstrations so that you can see what Mobile Post does. So we won't just be giving you PowerPoints all day. We'll really make it come alive for you in the personas in terms of who it can help, and then in a set of demonstrations. What I'm really hoping that you walk away from today is real simple. This is a differentiated offering versus what's going on from the competition. We have the broadest set of support for mobile OSs in the industry. We have the deepest and richest set of offerings in terms of capabilities that business professionals and consumers will care about in the industry. And we offer a set of experience and economics that is unmatched in the industry. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Kevin Johnson, my boss and the CEO of Juniper Networks, to get us started. Thank you.
Good morning. Woke up this morning, my smartphone alarm clock went off bright and early, and as I got up out of bed to go work out, I had the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times downloading to my iPad. Certainly as I read the news of the morning over breakfast and then driving through the city this morning, I VPN'd into Juniper to check the latest statistics on sales and shipments, which are certainly important to us. And I was just kind of reflecting that this really is a mobile world. And today, I just want to take 15 minutes and frame what we're doing in three things. Number one, I just want to share a perspective on this industry trend around the mobile internet. Number two, a perspective on our approach to securing the mobile internet. And number three, I'm just going to frame the high-level set of announcements and introduce some of the guests that are here today to help share their perspective on this. So thanks for joining us, and let's kind of jump right in. If you look at the key trend around the mobile internet and as it's unfolding today, there are a couple things that are key. Certainly there's this explosion of mobile internet connected devices, smartphones, tablets, and you look at the evolution. The evolution of technology went from PCs over a wired connection to the internet to PCs over in laptops over Wi-Fi, to now it's going to new form factors, smartphones and tablets. And according to Gartner, smartphone sales were up over 50% in the second quarter. In fact, Morgan Stanley recently projected that smartphone sales will exceed PC sales worldwide by the year 2012. Certainly, if you look at what's happening with this trend, certainly there are more and more digital devices. In fact, the number of mobile internet devices may grow to over 10 billion in the next 10 years. And so this trend is underway. In fact, the trend of this mobile internet is really not only these new devices, but the services that are provided to those devices, whether it's services related to connected socialization or content consumption. You know, in fact, if you look at some of these devices today in New York City, you can take your smartphone device and wave it over a reader to get on the New York subway. The Starbucks Gold Card is available on your smartphone device. So you can go in and order that double tall, non-fat caramel macchiato. Absolutely no whip, no fuss, no mess with the smartphone. So this wide range of services. Now it's time that we look and say, you know, with this explosion of internet-connected devices and smartphones and tablets, it does open up significant implications from a security standpoint. And, you know, a couple of key statistics. You know, first of all, you look at mobile devices that are purchased by consumers. The recent study that was done showed that roughly 80% of those devices are coming into corporations and they're accessing corporate internet. They're accessing the corporate network and data on that corporate network, you know, oftentimes without permission of the IT organization. In fact, close to 60% of them are doing it on a daily basis. Now, certainly this presents a set of issues or concerns. In fact, over 40% of these smartphones are used for both personal information as a consumer as well as business information. You know, I personally carry one smartphone device that I use for my personal use as well as for my business use. And this is happening in a way that provides a set of things across the network that's no longer self-contained. These devices connect over a 3G spectrum through a service provider, and they can connect to consumer over-the-top services. They connect through 3G, 4G to business services from the enterprise. They then can roam and connect over Wi-Fi types of links. The fact is these devices are connected. And it's creating significant challenges and concerns for large enterprise customers. In fact, one large enterprise just last Wednesday, Alaskan Airlines, they asked their employees to connect to their network basically, and they restricted it to 2 mobile devices. On the approved list, they had iPhones and Windows Mobile. Not on the list were the range of devices including Symbian operating systems, Android, and Blackberries. Their logic, their reason? Well, security is the challenge that they had, and they wanted to make sure that they're being prudent and thoughtful about protecting corporate data, and therefore providing a security solution across a wide range of devices is the challenge they're trying to solve. With what we're bringing to market today, we believe we've got a great solution for that. Certainly for service providers, it also creates a number of challenges. The fact that there's multiple points of vulnerability. Vulnerability certainly within the network and the network traffic, vulnerability on the device, vulnerability in the back-end applications and data. And you know, today our view is that the types of solutions that need to be provided in the marketplace need to be end-to-end. And then finally for consumers, you think about how much personal information is on your smartphone, on your device. Whether it's your social security number, perhaps passwords to different websites that you visit, your online banking information, your personal email, personal photos, and the amount of theft and loss that can occur either through malware and bad actors stealing that data or just simply losing the device. Now we're going to hear a bit more today from both enterprise customer perspective as well as service provider's perspective, and we're going to take you through some scenarios on the consumer's perspective. But at some level, this becomes very personal. This is individuals' data, and the fact is that if that data is on that phone, and if that phone gets out there, that data is everywhere. And the opportunities for bad actors to exploit that and for people to take that information and use it for unintended outcomes is significant. So clearly, we look at this and we say, history can teach us a couple of things. Now, first of all, if you look at the two key points that history can teach us is, number one, is that the bad actors that develop malware, they are going to do nothing but get more sophisticated. In fact, if you look at the evolution of viruses and malware, and you start back to Los Alamos, New Mexico, and some academic research that was done in 1966 by John von Neumann. He was a professor working at Los Alamos. He authored a paper that talked about the basis for self-replicating software. And it was a theory that said, hey, self-replicating software can certainly be used for good purposes, but it can also be used for bad purposes. You roll forward, 1981, you saw the first boot sector infections. In the year 2001, you saw significant network worms. And those of you may remember the terms Code Red and NIMDA. In fact, I remember them well. I happened to be working at Microsoft at the time and going to call on a customer that had handwritten a sign on their front door telling employees not to turn on their PCs or laptops, that NIMDA and Code Red had fundamentally shut down the entire network. So these things really are real. And history will tell us that what we saw in the era of PCs will move to smartphones and tablets. In fact, in 2009, we saw a Trojan begin to target the Symbian and more recently the Android platforms. So lesson number one is that the trajectory of malware is to become more sophisticated. It will evolve over time, and there are bad actors that will find ways to exploit this data and information in the mobile internet era. Lesson number two is that, for those of us who've worked in the industry for many, many years, can attest to, is that waiting and reacting to this after the fact is a very costly proposition. It's costly for the users, it's costly for the businesses, it's costly for the technology industry. And so clearly, establishing a leadership role and trying to get out in front of this before this wave of malware and antivirus and security issues hits, we think is the most effective thing to do, not only from an industry standpoint, but from a focus on our customers and creating a great set of economics and experiences on this network. So waiting is the wrong answer, and a piecemeal solution will only deal with part of the issue. We're really focused on how we take an end-to-end approach. So we believe it's really fundamentally time to set the mobility security agenda. And we're setting that agenda with a set of 5 principles that we outline. Certainly we believe in protection at all points. On the device, in the network as traffic flows through the network, and certainly in the data center for the applications and data that's being accessed. The second point is support across all mobile operating systems and devices. Having a security offering that only addresses a subset of those end devices puts all the challenge on the customer to solve these problems. So support across this wide range of mobile operating systems and devices as the market continues to mature and develop, we think is a core principle. The third principle is one of extensibility, and this is a common principle in our entire Juno strategy. The fact that the solutions we provide, we really work to have that software have a set of open APIs and allow third parties and customers to innovate on top of that. Juno's Pulse is no different. Fourth is being user-friendly. Clearly, impacting, you want this to be non-intrusive to the end user, and you want it to be very easy and simple to configure, set up, and deploy. And the flip side of that is easy to administer. In many of these enterprise customers, the chief security officer or their organizations are having to set policy, administer policy. You not only want it to be a great user experience for the end user, but also a great experience for the administrators who set policy and establish those policies. Now why, you might ask, why is Juniper moving in this direction? Well, clearly we're building on a foundation of technology that's been in the market and has evolved over the last 7 to 8 years. In fact, we've been in the security business since the year 2003. And we've been a market share leader on our high-end firewalls and protecting the data and the traffic within the network. In fact, today, with our partnerships and our reach with service providers, we're securing the vast majority of mobile internet traffic that flows on the network today. And certainly with this announcement, we're now extending that to the end devices and how